what's the opposite of my favorite topic of the day?
Your least favorite topic of the day.
The most devastating topic of the day, and that is an instance of stand your ground. So in Florida, of course, there was an argument over a literal convenience store parking spot that ended up with a man dead. But it will not end up with any charges against the man who shot him, who killed him, because the police say that he stood his ground. And so if we could roll this video, I'll describe what you're seeing during it. So Mr. Glockton there comes out of the store, pushes that guy, who then pulls out his gun, shoots him in the chest. McGlockton retreats to the store, later dies. So if we could play that again, I want you to take note of what happens immediately after he pushes him. He backs up, you'll see. He goes up, he pushes him, okay, that's an aggressive action. The guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. So that video is available. I have a feeling the police have seen it, and yet they watch that and say the guy on the ground had no choice but to shoot and kill that other individual. Even though the guy who pushed him was backing up, even though you're holding a gun pointed at him, which is supposed to be some sort of deterrent. No, even then, with the gun pointed at him, you were at such a risk of your life being taken that that individual who just pushed you over a parking spot, in your mind, sees a gun pointed at him and thinks, I'm gonna go for it. I don't care about the gun, I have to kill this guy with my bare hands. And so you, as the individual on the ground with the gun, have no choice but to shoot and kill him. So it's not like this is gonna be part of the trial and the police might be on his side. That's it, we're done. He simply walks away. He goes home, he eats some cereal, maybe he goes see Skyscraper at night. His life now just goes back to normal, even though that other individual is dead. There will be no charges whatsoever.
This is like one of these horrifying, devastating cases where, I mean, we're not wrong at all to point out that the man who was killed is black and the man who shot him is white. And if the races were reversed, we can guarantee that if a black man on the ground had shot a white man standing up, he would be in jail or he would have already been shot by the police. There's such this insane imbalance. I mean, it's Florida, it's the Trayvon Martin case, it's the stand your ground case. Like, we've been through all of this already, and this is, I mean, I would say this is even more blatant because we literally have video of an unarmed man, like you said, backing away and turning to the side. Like, he's not, there's no world where this is justified, and like you're saying, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, look, these stand your ground laws are set up to make it as easy as possible to get away with murder. All you have to do is make the case that you believed you might die, which is entirely within your brain. There's no counter to that. You can't say, no, you're lying, you weren't actually afraid. So, but how crazy would you have to be in the position of Michael Drejka, that's the white guy who shot Markeus McGlockton dead, to think that your life was in danger there? He pulls out the gun, you see the guy, he's already backing away, he like does this with his shoulder. Clearly he's afraid for his life. To think that you are about to be killed in that circumstance, you have got to be a literal crazy person. And yet the police find it to be convincing. Sheriff Gualtieri said that the brief retreat that you saw in the video when McGlockton takes a few steps back gave him pause. But Mr. Drejka told the authorities that he was in fear that he was going to be struck again. And so he's okay in shooting the guy dead. I mean, look, you're supposed to try to be all fair and balanced. No, this guy, the only reason this is the first time he has shot and killed a person is this is the first time he's been pushed. Because that guy, as soon as he was pushed, his first thought is take the gun out, kill the guy. This guy has been carrying a gun around, desperately hoping that he gets to shoot and kill another person.
That's absolutely right.
And these laws are designed to allow for that. They are designed because the people who pushed for them, the NRA, the gun manufacturers, all of that, they know that guns are sold based on fantasies of murder. And these people want to make it easier for them to kill, okay? Because many people, like I see that video and I think this is absolutely insane. How could we live in this country? We've effectively institutionalized part of the purge only 365 days a year. But others will see it and think, I should have a gun because I could get pushed and maybe I could shoot somebody.
It is like this, the worst version, it's like the nightmare version of gun rights laws where, I mean, if you look at the video, he literally, there's no hesitation. He doesn't like pull it out and point it at him and wait. He was like, as he was falling in his brain, he goes, I'm gonna shoot the guy in front of me. I have a gun, I'm gonna shoot the guy in front of me. Like,
for a parking spot.
Yeah.
And this guy apparently has been arguing with people over parking spots at that particular convenience store for some time. Now that might seem like a person who takes parking too seriously. It also might be a person who is looking to start some sort of violent confrontation.
By the way, I was like looking at like, horrible internet comments about this, but people were saying stuff like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be parking in the wrong spot." What? Or somebody else said he pushed over this old man, 47 years old. Like, there is
are senior citizens allowed to murder people? Is that part of our culture?
But it's even
we let them
worse.
drive kind of crazy. I don't think we let them murder people.
But the thing is, like, people will defend this. People don't look at this as the situation that it is, which is one person kills another person for no real reason.
Yeah.
It's not real retaliation. It's like bloodthirst. It's a blood sport at this point to carry a gun, look for a fight, and then shoot someone at the very first provocation.
And we know that when they do that defending, race is on their mind.
Of course.
And so the thing is, like, they will say, like the NRA loves to say, like, oh, no, black people need guns too. It's for defense. We'll defend them. But how many cases have we been through where, like, I apologize, I don't remember the name of the gentleman who's killed in his car because he had a gun.
Philando Castile.
Yeah, Philando Castile. Thank you. Where were his gun rights? Where were his gun rights?
You know what? On that specific note, and also to plug my show, which is a bad timing, but we came out with an episode today about the fact that the Second Amendment doesn't apply equally to black people and white people. It's on Prompt News on YouTube, but it's worth checking out because there is a strong case built around the fact that the NRA does promote gun rights for almost only white gun owners. When Philando Castile was shot, the NRA, exactly, they didn't say a word.
Yeah.
And what's worse is that if you actually look at the history of gun laws in America, before, I almost want to say even like after the 14th Amendment, black people couldn't own guns unless they had the express permission of like their local legislature, which wasn't true of white gun owners. Like there's this whole history of black people being treated differently in regards to gun laws. And then there's stuff like this where white people are shooting black people for pushing them and nothing happens.
And the foundation of Stand Your Ground is appealing to white fear.
Yes.
They cannot have a system where your ability to kill or not kill is based on actual facts, because that could apply equally to multiple races. It has got to be a vague thing. It has got to be entirely contained within the white brain. It has to be about white fear because they're playing to white fear of black Americans. It has got to be able to be interpreted unfairly, discriminatorily by juries, by police officers, as in this case. You have got to be able to preferentially treat white people. That is why it's being set up. That's why it's being spread. It is worst in Florida. It is not contained to Florida. These laws are in other states. You will see them in more states. And it is exactly designed, precisely designed to create situations like this. Thank you so much for watching that video. Before you move on to the next, I just wanted to let you know I have a documentary series out. It's called True North, available on Go90, and now you can help get it nominated for a Streamy as a documentary series. The link is down below. Thank you so much.